It's 7 p.m. and you're getting dinner. It could be with anybody you know. Maybe a friend, a colleague, maybe somebody that you've always seen around, but you've never had the pleasure of actually getting to know them. It doesn't matter who, really. What I want you to imagine is that you're having the most invigorating conversation with them. As the night draws in, you're getting to know each other in such vivid detail and enjoying each other's company endlessly. Sounds like this great, memorable night, right? And I want you to envision it with one tweaked detail, and that being that it's all happening through a little phone screen in your hands. Let's sit with that for a moment. The entire connection that you had been building up, gone, almost meaningless. Hasn't the personal feeling been reduced? And doesn't it feel a lot shallower now? We humans, we're social beings. We're born with this beautiful capacity to form special connections with the people around us. Strangers go on to become friends, family, maybe even a partner. They're immeasurable parts of our lives. There aren't just some impalpable letters or pictures that we see through a little phone screen in our hands. This brings me to the digital age. The Cambridge Dictionary defines it as the present time in which many things are done by computer and large amounts of information are available because of computer technology. Which, yes, it is the 21st century, so there's technology all around us. From the cameraman, the huge screen behind me, mics, phones, laptops, and so much more. Technology has become such a pivotal part of our lives that I'm sure we can't go one day without Wi-Fi or gadgets when they malfunction. It has essentially become to us what hunting was for cavemen. I'll admit that social media has its benefits, for sure. A mother may be able to connect with their son that is studying abroad, and it brings communication where there wouldn't have been any beforehand. However, there have been more adverse effects on the number of conversations that we have face-to-face. These dwindling interactions and personal exchanges and intimate conversations have become so unbelievably rare. Now, let's talk about conversations. I'm going to share an experience that I had with a close personal friend of mine. Essentially, this person had been my best friend for a few years, and we'd talk every day. Any social media app that you could think of, we'd be talking on group chats, Instagram, WhatsApp, etc. The one thing I cannot seem to remember is, what did we talk about? There was no substance to our time together. I didn't think much of it at the time because I thought I'd see them every day in school, right? Nothing to worry about. I texted them one day, hey, let's meet. And I waited for a response, and I waited. But there wasn't any for a while. And suddenly, no warning, everything changed. It was almost as if she disappeared off the face of the earth. I hadn't heard from her again, and she was out of my life. So let me introduce you to a concept that you may or may not be familiar with. What I have described here is ghosting culture. I won't make it too complicated for you, though. Ghosting culture is this term that's thrown around flippantly enough for us to get what it means. In a nutshell, though, it's what we use to excuse bad behavior. It's ending communication abruptly with no reasoning at all. But what lies beneath this behavior? Why do people resort to ghosting instead of having an open, honest conversation about their feelings? Number one, fear. Fear of commitment, fear of fostering real, authentic relationships, and the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. So while it may seem disrespectful, this is what the new generation has conjured. This is what we are doing in society nowadays. And the fact that we accept ghosting and we acknowledge it as a society is so alienating to me. It's insane to believe how we've allowed social media to enable us to disappear without a trace, with no explanation. Disappointing, isn't it? Trust me, I know. But in a society where we're constantly bombarded with images of perfection and success, sharing our true self through social media can be daunting. It's so scary, it's terrifying. And social media only exacerbates this problem. When we see these celebrities and these influencers and the spectacle created by their lives, we're not able to be our true selves. We try and fit in with what is trending and what is new, what the interest is lately, or what the society wants us to be. This brings me to another experience that I've had, which is that I also started using social media at quite a young age. When I was in year 7, I made my first email account, and the reason I did this was communication. I wanted to be close to my friends, talk to them, and have this means of always being connected with them. But it led me to have this inaccurate perception of the people around us. It made me think that I had to act a certain way, dress a certain way, and behave in a certain manner, all to be well-liked. That's disappointing, isn't it? To think that we're fostering a generation of youth that is growing up thinking they can't be themselves because of social media. Have you ever considered that the possibility of the images and the posts that you see on social media are heavily curated and not a true representation of what goes on in somebody's day-to-day lives? It essentially leads to more anxiety and pressure for children nowadays. What I propose is for social media to be recognized as a tool, to be utilized to a certain extent, and not let it take away from our real lives. Websites like Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest are all very helpful in providing news, gossip. I agree. Sharing all of your clothes, your outfits, the travel vlogs, it's all very exciting. But we cannot get lost in this false sense of reality. Our youth and our future leaders, we need to collectively, culturally decide what is better for them. We need to detach from our pixelated screens that we've grown so attached to. And as society grows more adept at using these products, it implies that unless the issue is fixed, we become nearly incapacitated when it malfunctions. So, those who grow overly dependent on technology are disadvantaged as they lose their independence. So in a rapidly growing and evolving digital landscape, where new technologies are emerging constantly, we cannot afford to ignore the importance of digital literacy. We must empower our youth with skills and knowledge needed to navigate the online world safely, respectfully, and responsibly. By prioritizing digital literacy and education, young minds are equipped with the tools to critically evaluate information. And therefore, if the people in your life mean a lot to you, you will go out, put in the go the extra mile, put in the effort, and see them and communicate with them in person. Thank you. My name is Ayesha Shakil, and this was my talk.